everyone from the whole team of Caapid Simplified, and also happy Valentine's Day to you all. This is the day to celebrate love, embrace it, and showcase it too. So I decided to actually come and meet all our applicants and acknowledge the teamwork that goes in this Caapid process, especially our spouses and partners. Nobody really appreciates them, right? So today I take this opportunity to actually listen to their perspective and their planning for Caapid 2022 and even the last cycle. And I was able to have our current applicant, Shraddha and Vishal, then recently accepted couples, Apurva Avinash, Sushma and Sriram, and Karthik, who is now getting into residency with Nourah. Hope you all know me. I am Leena, and the one person who is sitting alone, he is my husband Tarun. We are in different rooms in the same house. So welcome, guys. How are you all?
We have been good.
Very well.
Pretty relaxed Sunday.
Enjoying Sunday.
No complaints. Full Sunday. It's like 60+ degree outside. No complaints all, but still beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. And happy Valentine's Day to you.
You too.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
And same to you.
Thank you. And I really want to thank you on behalf of all our viewers and their spouses to motivate them and guide them through this whole tough journey. So let's begin. Are you all excited? You can actually vent as much as you want, guys, okay? Because I know you never got this chance.
Really great, great idea. Whoever got it, because a lot of time it just struggle not only with the applicant, it includes the spouse too. So whoever got this idea, it is really amazing, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was my idea, and Tarun actually supported me.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah,
It's a very good idea, because I think when an applicant is going on a journey, the spouses and their kids also go through the same. It's really tough, and it's a roller coaster ride for the whole family, I believe. So it's a very good idea to applaud them as well. Yeah.
I'll speak on the kids' behalf.
I'm gonna get there.
So that you get your spouse also on the calls, that you bitch, and then you later have another bashing session at home where the spouse bashed because you said whatever, right? There she goes.
Yana also wants to say something. No, yeah, let it be global. So can you start by introducing yourselves? What do you do? All the spouses, and when did you move to States? A little introduction about you. Okay. We can start with Sushma. Sriram.
Hello, my name is Sriram. I have been in United States since 2008. So it's been so long, right? So I started working here since 2010, and we got married in 2019, May. I'm working as a software engineer. And
Great. And what about you, Avinash?
I have a computer engineering background. So I started my career as a software engineer, and I came to the United States in 2017. And gradually and slowly, I changed my career lane to software consulting or IT consulting. So since 2017, I've been here. Apurva joined me 3 months later. The funny part is she just completed her MDS degree in India, and she had been studying for almost 10 years. There was 5 years of BDS, then preparation for MDS, and then she completed her MDS. We got married, and she came to the States. And the very first thing she told me that I don't want to study anymore. I want to relax and enjoy. So don't talk anything about studying or working. I said, okay, yes, we can do that. Then 2019 happened. We felt like we should expand our family. So we went into family way. And in 2020, we were blessed with a beautiful daughter.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think I'm ready. Basically, that motivation came from her daughter. She wanted to set an example maybe, yeah, right? So June 2020 is
Nice. That's so good to hear. What about you, Tarun? Do you want to share something?
Sure. I'm a mechanical engineer. I work for a automotive company which make mixed fuel filters. I moved to the US in 2011. I've been working with the company since 2014. Lena and me, we got married in 2020. And
Amazing. How about you, Vishal? I know you have been in US like from
Oh,
so long.
finally me. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
There she goes.
Oh my God, Kiana.
I have a little parrot in the car, so you have to bear with
That's
me.
completely okay. We are enjoying her company.
So here it is. I'm here for a long time now. Here since 2004. Been working in IT on the infrastructure side for several years. Currently working on the financial side for US Bank. Obviously, don't have to say what bank does, makes money. So I guess that's about me. We got married in 2018, and beautiful things happened to us as a family since then.
Basically, my friend, very dearly friend, I've been helping her throughout the process, and she has been motivating me. Due to some circumstances, she got delayed, but I really appreciate her. She gave her INBD on 19th January, right? Right, Vishal? 19th January? She gave her NBD Part 2 on 19th
18th
January.
and 18th
Yeah,
and 19th.
and she managed to apply to Colorado already. So it was so quick for her to accumulate all the documents together.
That's true. And then 18th was Kiana's.
Let's hear from the dentist too. So Sushma, Apurva, what one thing do you appreciate in your partners that help you strive through?
For me, actually, I came in like 2014. So I started my master's in public health. So at that time, I was like very motivated. I was like, okay, I just want to like finish my exams and all. I finished my part 1 and part 2. Somehow I lost my interest like in dentistry. I'm like very comfortable with public health. So I'm doing good. Like I got internship in a college. So I was doing good, like with money and everything. So I was comfortable there. But after marrying him, then he's kind of like, this is what you came for. So you may like look back into it. One thing I really appreciate in him is like he is the one who pushed me at the beginning, because I really don't want to go back at the time. I was so scared because it's been a long time that I felt like I lost my skills. I don't remember anything. But he is the one who like pushed me, just like once apply for this cycle and we'll see how it goes. So that I appreciate it. And there are like a lot of things that definitely spouse needs to support us, especially when we don't know, like during this process when we get interviews, there is like no certain timeline that we can just like plan anything and do everything. I feel like he supported me like when during my Washington interview, the amalgamator was like not working at all. So he's the one who fixed at like 3:00 in the morning. He's like, I started like crying almost. I have exam in like 1 week. My amalgamator is like not working. So yeah, there are like a lot of circumstances that he pushed me towards, and he's the one like who helped me doing my interviews, like reserving and everything a lot of times, and sharing my responsibilities, because especially who has Indian background, we have like extended families like in-laws and how to manage them, family get-togethers and everything we need to manage. It is not an easy process that we can just like talk to everyone. I think he helped me a lot, like to manage everything. Okay, I'll take care of it, you just focus on this thing, you don't need to worry about all the rest of the world right now. So I definitely like appreciate it.
So I always knew that I wanted to get married to an engineer. That was sure for me because my dad is a physician and there's so much to study. So I knew I wanted a fun partner. So I knew it has to be an engineer for me because there's so much study going on. Both of us cannot study all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And engineers are fun people.
Yeah, they are. Through the MPH route, or do I need to go through the clinical part? So what
she even thought of the MBA as well.
Yeah.
She wanted to do MBA.
Yeah, because so I thought like, let's go. But then my husband told me that you have studied so much, you have done prosthodontics also, you always wanted to be a clinician. So don't change your path and you won't be happy that way. So I started thinking, yeah, he's right. You know, what you don't want to say to yourself so that you can go to another path, my spouse said for me.
And family is the best, right? So if you can find someone from the family who knows you, who understands you in this tough journey, it would be very easy for anyone who is watching this video. Yeah. Amazing, amazing. So what was your biggest roadblock? As in, I know Apurva moved after 3 months, right? So did you face any culture shock or some English phrases which, you know, you're not used to? Or what challenge did you face in this transition to move to US?
And the place that we were staying, it's a multicultural society. So we had people from across the globe who lived here, not just Indians. There was as such no specific thing that came as a shock to me when I came to US, because I was just 3 months old. But what I realized is that there are certain decorums that need to be maintained in the society. Yes. Like everybody waits for their turn, like at a bus stop or at Starbucks. They will wait for their turn. Everybody loves to greet each other, right? And everybody would ask, "How are you?" Things like that. So those were those nitty-gritties which I shared with Apurva, that people here are very expressive. They want to greet you, they want to talk to you, know how your day is. So don't be alarmed if someone is becoming super friendly, because it's just the culture in America.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not it. Yeah.
And the other thing is the parity that is maintained across all walks of life. So no one is big or small here. Everybody is the same. So everybody gets the same respect in a way that everybody talks equally at a human being level first, then their profession or things like that. So the key thing that I told her was just this: that yes, people talk, so don't be alarmed. If they ask how are you, you greet them, and you also can start a conversation with them. But be careful that yes, okay, just don't go over the board and share everything.
That I think we cannot, right? Because for us, we are very secretive. We want to keep everything to ourselves.
To open up.
Yes.
Exactly. So Vishal, did you also face some challenge in transiting Shraddha to US?
Yeah, I mean, so the biggest challenge for us was to get Shraddha and Kiana to the US with all the immigration, COVID, and everything going on, consulates being closed, and then they being locked in Mumbai in an apartment for 5 months, not going out. I mean, it was challenging, and then both of them had COVID. So me being here, and then my in-laws being in the same house, being senior citizens, and by grace of God, they were okay. But I mean, it overall the situation was very challenging.
I know one thing about Shraddha: she loves cooking, and here people cook like once in 3 days. So initially, it was such a big challenge for her to eat old food. But now I know Sushma was actually here for MPH, but did you face any challenge yet?
So one thing I can tell is, I think when she was applying for the UNC, we got like vaccine, and then after that vaccine, like she got shingles, and then I was helping her, and I got chickenpox.
Yeah, that's the time I met you, right?
Yes, that's the time like you just met.
I agree. Karthik, are you there? Do you want to share anything? Any challenge you faced when Nourah moved?
Yeah, I can share. Of course, in Nourah and I's case, we weren't married at the time that she was applying to CAAPID. We were kind of figuring out our relationship. At the same time, she was figuring out the application process. So our challenges were a bit different. But I think some things that really stood out for me was she really had not, seen failure. Most students, dental students who come here are like toppers in their school, and she had not seen failure. So she would get extremely annoyed to know that she failed. And for me, it was like a matter of fact in life. She called engineers chameleons, and that's the only thing I took offense for. But apart from that, I was like, hey, that makes us actually adaptable. You're so stuck in your ways, and you think everything is going to be successful. That's not the way the world works. And failure is very much a stepping stone. And I'm surprised you've actually come this far without ever failing in your life and seeing what that would feel like. Another big thing that she was really caught up with was the idea of confusing, selling herself with the idea of boasting. We very often hear back in India that if you talk of your accomplishments, you're boasting. And in the US, nobody ever uses the word boasting. I've never heard a person ever mention it. And that's something I actually saw Nourah struggle with. Like, I was very, very comfortable selling myself more than what I actually was. And that was because of a survival instinct through interviews. As an engineer, you're in the open job market, competing against so many people, and you really have to differentiate yourself. So you go to the extremes in selling yourself, and you hear all these stuff like fake it till you make it and stuff like that. And she's very uncomfortable talking of her very simple accomplishments. She wouldn't even want to start Caapid Simplified until she was sure that she got an offer letter. For me, I was like, you've already learned so much in the process. You can already start putting videos out there. But she wouldn't admit to that. She was very uncomfortable with going with good rather than perfection. So I think these were some huge cultural shifts. If you meet a normal high school kid in the US, they're so comfortable talking about their average achievements rather than a very accomplished person back in India who considers boasting the opposite of humility. So that was a huge cultural shift that kind of I had to help her through. So yeah, I'll not keep talking after this.
That's amazing. I love the concept of chameleons. So probably even dentists in US will be called chameleons now. We'll be adaptive. Okay, so talking about finances, right? Like, I know most of us, our spouses here are engineers. So when engineers apply to schools, the normal application is like $50, $60. But US dental school application is so investing, right? So what do you think about those aspects about the dental school? And also, did you face any financial constraints just by applying to the schools?
There is fees at every step of the process, every sub step of the process. So, for example, if you have to share your NBDE score physically, there is a different amount. If you have to send it over email, there is a different amount. So, yes, we initially did not know that after submitting our application to CAAPID and submitting all the fees that was required, when we start applying for different schools, every school will start responding with their own application fees. It does take toll in a way that you have monthly expenses planned in US. You need to literally plan, right? You need to plan your rent, your utilities, etc. And these things, they start adding up. So they won't show on first month or second month, but they start showing up after third month when you have finished applying and you realize that by end of November, you have already paid thousands of dollars in fees, and you're still waiting for a call. You don't know whether it's going to happen. We feel blessed by the grace of God that everything has been paid off. So yes, that was an investment. Whatever we paid over a period of time to different colleges, it's an investment.
I would also like to add a point. So we are from Himachal in India. So we are very much into greenery and looking at trees and looking at people. So when we rented our house, I wanted to rent a house which is near some greenery, or I can see people, because I knew that would relax me. So those things cost money also, because if you're renting a house where there's no view, it's much cheaper than a view when you have a view of a park or you have a view of a trail. So the rent we are paying right now is very high in San Jose, but I believe that helped me a lot, because whenever I was into a panic mode or something, like things are not working out, some schools are not responding, or I'm not getting into some schools, so I would look at that view and feel like, no, look, people are passing by, or it's such a green place to be around. So that, I think, emotionally you need to be strong, and it takes everything to clear these things, I believe.
I agree. I think that all money went towards your mental health, right? So
Yeah.
that's all worth
Everything,
it.
everything adds up. It's
Yeah.
not that the application process, the things that come with it. You spend weeks filling up your application, and then 1 week you're like, oh, today we're not gonna cook. Even I'm frustrated. Okay, let's slaughter out. So it's one Friday, then it's a lazy Saturday and a Sunday, and you start ordering out. And when the time comes that you plan to cook at home, you don't feel like eating the home cooked food. So everything adds up, right?
The biggest factor is uncertainty in this process. So I joined Lena midway in the process. So I never had any idea how much a dental application would cost. It blew my mind knowing how much you just pay for the application fees.
When we started the process for bench test, we bought the basic bench test setup first. Then once I got the invitation, some are online, luckily, like we can just like work online things and we can pay the fees and go. But for some schools, they ask for specific components where we need to buy extra material, and that bench test will be like in 2 weeks. So you have to put like the priority order, which will pay like extra money to just get it delivered. The material needs to get us delivered. So that's kind of like, we don't know. We cannot expect that part. We cannot plan ahead about it. It might be birds, it might be like different typhodons that school is like specifically asking for. So those things we cannot like plan ahead, because we have 32 schools. So we don't know which schools like call us. So that's kind of like a hard thing, I should say. Like suddenly you'll pay like a lot of money in UPS charges and everything. So yeah, I feel like that's one of the things we faced a lot. Additionally, like to school supplemental application fee and CAAPID fee.
I would
Just
also
to
like
guide
to
our
add,
viewers.
like I did bench test course for the bench test exam, so that costed like around 5,000 straight away. So it's like the 5,000 completely gone, and it takes time to like save those money, and then you are not sure if you will get in out of after all these things you have done.
I have a suggestion though for the viewers, if I may. The best way to handle this, because of the uncertainty, you don't know what the expenses would be, and the best way not to get that financial tone on you is to get a credit card back in India or here in US. Okay, and get a credit card which is giving you a 0% APR or 0% interest rate back in India for a period of 12 months or 15 months. How it helps is, even if I'm swiping my card for $5,000, I'm just bound to pay $35 minimum fee for that period of 12 months. And how it will help me is that, okay, at this point in time, there is uncertainty as to how much I'm going to spend. Let me use this card, because you just cannot debate. I was debating the same, like Sri Ram said. I was debating the same. Why so many colleges? Just choose the college. So she said, I cannot take chance. I want to apply everywhere. So use that card, and you'll have enough time to plan out as to how you're going to pay back. And you'll also see what number you have hit.
Yeah, that's a great option to have for whosoever is now starting for CAAPID 2022. Even CAAPID Simplified has launched a tool called Cost Calculator. So you can actually, fill in all the schools you want to apply and have an average cost. It would just be an estimate. You can definitely, consider 500 or $1,000 extra than that. As far as I know, $250 is an average for an application, right? And if you're applying to 10 colleges, then it will be $2,500, but keep $2,500 extra for any upcoming bench, or any other fees you might have to pay. I think Karthik will have great insight on financial planning, because he's now getting into residency for Nourah.
You wanted a rant, I'm going to give you a rant. prepare to get broke. There's no way you can actually go through this process and not feel like you're poor. I mean, $300,000 like average fee across several schools. And then if you want to do residency on top of that, another $200,000 if the program does not pay if you don't have a green card. So you're almost $500,000 in debt by the time you finish. And that's still lesser than the national average of $1 million debt for dentists.
Oh.
So in spite of our saving mentality as an Indian, we are like halfway in debt, and like that's how much people invest for their first home or something in the US. So it's a roller coaster ride when it comes to expenses, and one after the other these expenses would come piling up. And the worst was during the pre-pandemic times, you had to literally take a flight to every single interview, and each interview, the flight cost is $500. It will be in some remote random location. You could have to buy a rental car and all that stuff. So here I am with 12 credit cards. And the worst thing is, like, to Tarun and everybody's point, after all these expenses, we spent about close to $10,000 in the first cycle, and she did not get into school. That was the biggest heartbreak. She was like, oh my God, I lost opportunity. And I was like, oh my God, we lost all this money. We can't even afford a second cycle. So we had to be a lot more strategic second time. And instead of hiring Zach or Stevenson, we had to hire ourselves and improve our game and keep that up. So things slowly evolved. We learned how to be more methodical. And over the next 1.5 years, I got my first job. I took my entire joining bonus and paid off all my credit card debt. We somehow survived without a plan going inside. So, I mean, I'm totally in the same line as every other person who mentioned, like, be very strategic, have a simple budget, use credit cards, maximize your points, but also maximize 0% APR that comes for a couple of cards for a couple of months.
Really, every cost piles up and it affects the whole family, not just the applicant. So yeah, definitely all the viewers should plan their finances very well. Shriram has something to add. Yep.
Yeah, I want to add one thing on this, because I don't want to give the viewers like we should take some courses like to get into dental school, because I didn't take any course. Lena, like how I prepared. I started like I forgot my skills and I forgot how to do a class 2 too. Honestly, like it's been like long time for me. I just like went into other path. But it just depends on the individual person, like how do you really want to take it or not? Because I see like a lot of, even I myself was in a doubt at one point, like maybe I should take a course, then I will learn everything. No, it's not the case at all. It just like depends on the individual person, whether it's just a panic that's creating, you have to take this course, then you'll get everything. That's what I see, like this question all the time on the Facebook groups, like do we need to take any course to get into the dental school? No, definitely not. But it just depends on the individual person. Don't just like get yourself like ripped off with bench test course. But if you can afford and if you wanted to like learn, you can. But if you already have some skills, then just like you work hard and try to take some evaluations, like other services that Caapid Simplified is also providing some services, so you can use them and get a better idea about your feedbacks.
You feel better, guys? Like, did you get a chance to vent out? You are not alone in this, right?
Lena, I want to add one thing when it comes to finances.
Go ahead.
Okay, so especially for spouses who are not from a medical background, one thing which will help you financially in the long run is to take professional services at every step upfront, because I was in the exact same boat, questioning Lena, like, do we really need to do this? Do we need to, like, your SOP looks good, like it's the best SOP I've ever seen, so why do you need professional help? But few months into the her journey, I realized like it's a cream layer which is here. So all SOPs are extremely well written. So like I would say that's money well spent. Like instead of wasting a year or a couple of years trying to figure out what works best, take that help upfront, and then I think in the long run it will help you.
What is that one thing in your partner, in your dentist, that kept you motivated that, she can do it? She can made out this journey well. What was your belief system? Shri Ram?
Okay.
I'm scared now.
No, shouldn't be. Okay, but anyways, so I think when I was talking, this is before marriage, like, when we were getting married, we were talking about all, like, all other stuff, and we were talking about her NBDE, like, she told me, like, what she went through when, like, she met with an accident when she wanted to give that NBDE exam actually. And she never put herself down, right? And even after marriage, right, she kept herself motivated as well, like, to complete all the exams. And at the same time, she's also into um, uh, PhD of public health, basically. So she did masters in public health, and she's now doing her PhD in public health as well. So she was managing, like, both of those very well, right? And she always thought that, okay, whatever she's doing in the, like, DDS or DMD program, like, her PhD is gonna add, like, to that, it's gonna add more value, right? And it's not like, okay, I'm not getting into DDS, like, I wanted to, like, find a job, like, in a in a normal public health sector, right? She never thought that way.
SOP and like a lot of supplemental. Then I got an idea. Okay, here the change like comes with the when we get the interview, because no matter how much skills you have, it is the representation, like way that we market ourselves. So the SOP is like a main key that we definitely need the professional services. So
yeah, and later on you used Quillbot as well, right? The other things, like, yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. And like, like, even after getting like chicken pox and all, right, she never dropped herself, like saying that, okay, I got chicken pox, and she kept reading, and she prepared for that.
Yeah, I remember I visited you and you were in one room, and Sushma had this whole setup thrown in one room, and she was like, Leena, teach me class 3, Leena, how to do this. Like, okay, get this girl's passion. Like, her husband is sick and still she's just focused on bench prep. So it's basically passion for Sushma. What about Apurva, Avinash? What caught you in this process?
Okay. I know Apurva since 10th grade. Okay.
Wow, that's so sweet. Okay. You are also from Himachal?
Yes, we both are from Himachal, same city. And since then, I knew that she wanted to be a dentist. Her family is full of doctors, armed forces, and she intentionally chose a path. Like, there are doctors who will choose dentistry because they couldn't get into MBBS. She was not like that. She wanted to go into dentistry because she had a close aunt, and there was a life-changing situation with the aunt, and she could relate with that aunt very closely as a kid. The key thing that I found in Apurva, which made me push her more, was her focus and eye of the tiger. So what she would do is, if she is determined that I want to achieve this, she will be all in for it. That is why when she completed her BDS, getting through MDS is the part where I saw her the most as to what her strengths are. It almost takes time to get into MDS in India because the seats are very limited. She made it through. Then going through MDS itself is really challenging. Yeah. At that point in time, we got married. We are in long distance relationship, and we have been long distance relationship. We started living together in 2017 only. So, and she had many life changing events in her personal life, right? So. But one thing that I could see did not deter her was her focus. If she is focused to complete MDS, she would. Who had to do compromises. In fact, her daughter also made compromises. She's just a baby. She cannot express herself, but even she requires her parents to be with her, right? And in this process, her mother is not there, and her father is taking care of everything, so there is reduced time. So yeah, everybody compromised,
Like
sacrificed, but
she would like to come to my lab, but I couldn't hold her because I was doing something on the laptop or studying my stuff. So I would like pick her up and go, give it to Avinash, like give my daughter to Avinash, and like she would want to hug me, but I couldn't do that. So it's like emotionally also you feel like your baby needs you, but there's something else you need to give priority to more than your baby who is just 1 year old. So I think it's like
the focus,
you need to be very strong-willed, focused, and know what the priority is, and have a supportive partner who can take care of things.
I would really say that the very first thing we didn't have clarity on how this process worked, and Caapid Simplified is something we came across first. And I thought that these are good people who are putting up videos and telling us so many things, and we have clarity now. And using those things, we were able to comprehend as to how we should plan. Okay.
So you're taking everyone on ride?
Yeah, I'm actually driving. So, yeah. So, I mean, the biggest strength I've seen in Shraddha is like she's really super in love with dentistry. So, self-motivated already. It's not easy to kind of, do things with a little kid around in the house, study all the way through, jump through all the hurdles, also take care of cooking and food and like, everything, right? Like everybody has to do to manage things together. We have been doing all of that, right? So we've been taking care of all the challenges, and with all of that, with her love for dentistry. And one thing I noticed in her is like her concepts are very clear. She wouldn't just mug up things and do it for the sake of doing. She has a perfect goal. She wants to understand things properly and then do it. And with her things, also learning how to, the restorative dentistry and stuff is really commendable and stuff. So I really like her do all of that. So I think it's her self-motivation more than anything else that kind of, got her through NBDE 1 and 2 with all the challenges coming up and downs and whatnot.
So for everyone who know Lena, she's already extremely ambitious. So at times I feel I should basically tame her a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah. So
are you bullying me?
Everyone knows. So a lot of times I draw inspiration from seeing Lena. Like she's so ambitious. I'm like, I should be at least like 20% of how ambitious Lena is. And a couple of things which I was very impressed with Lena is her passion towards dentistry. It's like she got into dentistry not because she couldn't get into anything else, but she chose dentistry. And I have seen the toll it took on Lena since she couldn't practice dentistry for the last couple of years. Like dentistry was a stress buster. She was a different person when she actually goes to the clinic and interacts with patients. But since she can't do it for the last 2 years, I've seen the change. And going to Buffalo makes her face glow. Like that's something. So I know she'll be very happy once she gets into Buffalo. And I hope her all the best.
Thank you. Karthik, what was that for Nourah?
I mean, first of all, I think Apurva's story, you guys made me cry. I'm really, really happy that you got into school, like for everybody else. It's been quite the struggle. I know Sushma has never been this relieved on a video call. So so good to see everyone smiling and happy now. And I'm sure Shraddha will also get to that place very soon. I think the motivation has been the same for all the people on this call, with pretty much Nourah as well. She's very driven. And if I were as driven as her, I would have gone a lot farther in life. Luckily, I'm not. I'm very laid back. I'm very happy-go-lucky. If I don't hit a 6, I'm happy with a no ball. If I don't hit a no ball, I'm happy with getting duck out. Like, I'll be very happy no matter what. Like, nobody can disturb my happiness. But Nourah is not like that. She's very, very, very committed, extremely driven. And I've never seen someone like her. At the same time that I was dating her, obviously, Indian parents have to go to Bharat Matrimony and send me a lot of prospects to speak to. And I'm obviously comparing them with Nourah, and I'm like thinking, how is this girl so different? Like, is this some gene from Indian dentists? You know, they are constantly being shamed as being second in line to medical students. Maybe does it come from that, or is it something else that's really making them so motivated to achieve? It was really startling to see someone so driven. I was totally inspired by that, and I just thought, like, you know, just to see this to the end, you know, see this process to the end, and see Nourah get to some place is an achievement in itself. I've never invested that much in myself. I've never really thought of such high, ambitious, lofty goals for myself. But to actually see that, you know, like a parent would for a kid, I wanted to see her successful. And I thought if only she is successful, that's my ultimate like success. You know, what I couldn't achieve as a mentee, I can maybe achieve as a mentor. So I guess that's pretty much the case. Like, you know, I'm not saying it's all easy for engineers, but at least the barriers to entry at the very beginning is a little lower for engineering. And when you compare that with dentistry specifically, even against medicine, which pays for residency programs and does not have like a DDS course equivalent, dentistry is the barriers to success is very, very high. So you need to like first to get to that $100,000 job after a DDS, you need to go through so much struggle, pain, money, time, and emotional support. So given that barriers to success is so high, I just feel like it develops a natural respect for people who are that driven, and makes people like us motivated to support people like you, Lena. So it's great to see that the partners have a huge part to play. I've never seen a very, very competent, successful dental couple coming to the US. I know there are few, but I always see like these spouses from other professions stepping up their game to a completely new adventure and supporting their partners, just motivated by how driven they are. So I'm glad that Caapid Simplified is also catalyzing some of that for people.
Definitely, guys. Like, I am sure few of our viewers must be fighting on Valentine's Day because now they have to plan finances, and, you know, they have to cook, they have to go out, they have to take care of kids. But believe me, guys, you are seeing so many journeys today here. So all of them are so proud of their wives, right? Or their spouses. So that's what make the couple achieve all those things, right? So yeah, I want to actually take a moment and thank you all to come here and record this video with us. Thank you so much. And thank you for such a lovable and supporting partners. Thank you, Tarun.
Thank you, Vinash also.
And it's all worth it. So you all are gonna make it, and you'll all be in the schools. If you need any help, we are all there for you. So yep, stay tuned for more videos and celebrate this Valentine's by watching this video and enjoy. Happy Valentine's, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.